Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back, Twitch. We are here with.
Peeb.
You can say it into the mic.
Peeb. Or Christian.
Yeah. So tell us and them a little bit about yourself, what you recently did, any school thing like your grade, major, da da da. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Christian. I was born in Boston, Massachusetts. I moved to Greenville when I was a kid. Now I'm here in Rock Hill. I'm a computer science major. This is my toughest semester yet, but we're still kicking. And I play Smash Bros. Competitively for the school. And who do I play? That's a good question. I play Mega Man, and he's a blue robot, and I have a lot of fun with him. And I'm just the best in the world with that guy. And recently at a big tourney, I made top 8, beating number 4 in the world, Hurt.
Are we watching that right now? Is that what we're gonna is that what we're gonna watch?
Is it?
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh my god, that's awesome. Let me push that button. Actually,
Summer is an interviewer and our producer. Shout out to her. So, first question I have. How does one become the best in the world at a character? What's that process?
It sprouts first as a desire. You have to actually want something to get it, right? Like anyone who becomes like an astronaut probably wanted to become an astronaut. Like you don't luck into that. So first you have to want it. Second, you have to dedicate a lot of time to it. You have to put that desire of yours, because you can like or want many things, right? So you're gonna have to create like a hierarchy of wants in your life. I want food. I want to do well in school. I want to become the best in the world with this guy, or just period, best in the world. So, if you want food, you can go get food right now. But in exchange, you'll probably not be working towards becoming the best in the world for Smash or whatever, right? So maybe you'll have to make some sacrifices. Maybe you'll have to be like, okay, I may want food right now, but I'm not that hungry. I can spend time studying. And then this is probably just going to take like years, which it has for me. I don't think anyone like instantly becomes the best at something. Provably so in like every area of Smash that I can think of, every like dimension of Smash or any competitive game. No one's ever been like the best off of just like, I don't know, like some quick shortcut that doesn't exist. You put in the time, and over time, you get results. So yeah, that's my answer.
Wow. That was actually very in depth. That was more than what I thought.
so you mentioned that you are probably the best Mega Man in the world, but you also mentioned that Hurt here, the Snake player, is the 4th best in general in the world. So is there like some global accepted ranking or something that you're basing this off of, or is this like statistically based off of results? Like what goes into that?
There is a global ranking that is based on results. It's the Alt rank, global ranking, something like that. Or Lumi rank. It's called Lumi rank. Luminosity acquired the name, and now it's Lumi rank. And on that ranking, Hurt is number 4 in the world for this season. The between January and like June or something like that. January, July. His results in that span of time led him to being ranked through like rigorous calculations, whatever. I don't know the numbers. He ended up number 4. I'm number 47, which is top 50 in the world, and I'm the only Mega Man in the top 50. So you could just say, by that alone, I'm the best Mega Man in the world. Or you can look and disregard the numbers and just look at the gameplay and reach a similar conclusion. You can do that for Hurt. You can do that for anyone on the rankings.
Who's number 1?
Number 1 is Akola, who is a Japanese player who rose, like, even though I just talked about like, oh, it's gonna take a long time. Relatively speaking, he like showed up and was just like godlike in a pretty short amount of time. But it's still, I don't know when exactly he started playing, but like I know for probably fact that he like spent a year or two playing Wi-Fi before attending his first big tourney. So even then, it's still like a big time sink of at least a couple years, right?
That makes sense. Who does he play?
He plays a mix of characters, but the main one that everyone knows him for is Steve.
Minecraft Steve? Oh my god.
Correct. Yes.
So you said something like he attended a lot of Wi-Fi's. What is that exactly?
Yeah. So you can play the game offline or you can play it online. And when we just call it Wi-Fi because you need a Wi-Fi like internet connection for short. People host online tournaments all the time, and especially so during quarantine. And I assume he played a lot on Wi-Fi, because that would be the only way his success makes any sense, because Wi-Fi is like what should I call it? I was gonna call it a gateway drug to being good. Or that's probably a bit of a not happy picture.
Oh, you said
but
it already.
yeah,
Yeah.
I did say I did. It's a predictor for success. If you spend your early years, and this is a young player, I forget how old, but in their teens. If you spend your developmental years playing Smash and playing it on Wi-Fi, like it's probably a good recipe for success.
Okay. My next question is, how much time do you spend practicing and like playing the game, would you say, when you're not in like tournaments and stuff?
Mm-hmm. I can spend days on just like a single issue. So like, let's say I spend 8 hours a day sleeping. I'll spend... That's me. Whoa! Is that the same shirt? No, it's not. It's this one is slightly different color. You can tell. I have clean wardrobe at home. Yes, I change. Yes. What was I talking
Laundry
about?
is nice.
How much time you spend practicing?
Okay, yeah. So, let's say on my worst days where I don't spend time practicing Smash because I'm dedicating time to other things like school or errands that I have to do, I'm still at the very least playing or studying a little bit before bed. A nice just like rule of thumb that I gave to myself is 15 minutes. 15 minutes before bed. Apparently,
Crazy stock.
if you, what's the word I'm looking for? If you learn or like engage yourself with something right before bed, it's more conducive to like actually learning it. Like it'll sit with you in your brain as you sleep. So 15 minutes of that before bed at the very minimum. And at the maximum, I'm just studying with my friends who play the same character, Mega Man, for like 8 hours.
What goes into that study?
We just explore like every way we can tackle something. The benefit of speaking with others is that you get a bunch of viewpoints. I can't do it all alone. It makes it way easier if there's like several supercomputers working on the same problem, right? Like NASA type-ish.
That makes a lot of sense. I know when we spoke about like your crew battles with the school, it was very much that same mindset where like you're working together as an entire team to tackle. At that time it was the problem of winning crew battles, but for the sake of 1v1 and Mega Man expertise, I suppose the problem that the supercomputers are tackling is different.
Yeah. Yes, it is. We have like a very we all have the perspective of this one guy, right? Makes it easier to like see what the other guys are thinking, right? Because we all see similar things, but we all don't see the exact same thing. So this common thread that binds us together, named Mega Man, makes it easier for the supercomputers to communicate with each other. Whereas maybe even though like Justice or Lima are on my team, I may not know exactly what the hell they're thinking because they play a completely different character to me. But we still try to communicate nonetheless.
That makes sense. For the purposes of what we're watching right now, oh my god, off the top, like that is very silly. I mean, we're already a couple of games into this, but you are playing against another character that has a lot of projectiles. I know that was something that you said Mega Man very much succeeds at, is like zoning and throwing a lot of stuff. It seems like Snake has a lot of that too here. How does that work for what you're trying to do when a character you're playing against is going for the same type of game plan?
It's not that different from comparing two brawler type characters fighting each other, right? It basically just comes down to the examining the time and space of things. How these puzzle pieces fit together. How do my projectiles interact with his projectiles? It's like almost the same as if I were a Roy, who, for those who don't know, is just like a very short range sword character who just gets in your face and doesn't have projectiles. He has to like run at you, right? It's no different from if I were Roy and if I were trying to gauge, okay, how do my attacks weigh up to this Mario's attacks, right? Similar character. They're both characters that run up and hit other people. For this projectile matchup, you could call it, let's look at what we have, right? Grenades and, well, Snake pretty much just has like one projectile and it's grenades, and it's like it's a heavy duty projectile. That thing is that thing carries the squad on its back. It does everything. Whereas I have a Swiss Army knife of projectiles. I have like I've got orange ones, silver ones, green ones, yellow ones, blue ones, a different kind of blue one, and even another blue one actually. Now that I think, I have 3 different blue ones, but I could name them and I could talk to you about what they do, but just know this: it's this matchup, regardless of the projectiles. I feel it is there's one common thread. There's one common thread, and it's grenade, right? Grenade is the thing that's going to be showing up on the screen like all the time, right? Doesn't matter what I'm throwing out, grenade will be there. So we could think of it as, how do I beat grenade? How do I deal with grenade? And we saw an example there. You could go above grenades, right? You can just, whenever Snake has a grenade, he can like throw it across the stage, but he can't football toss it up into the sky. He can't half court shot it up into the air. He can only toss it all the way across the stage, or maybe a slow lob across the stage, but never anything that's like super straight up. Well, actually he can, but very rare that, well, it's very situational to when he can do that. Most of the time it's just, I toss a grenade across the stage. So think of ways I can combat that. I already mentioned one. I can go above them. Here's another thing. You can catch the grenades. You can catch them, throw them back at Snake. We're going to see a funny moment in, I believe, the next match where you see this in action. What are some other things? So and that's what happens when you catch a grenade and you don't toss it back. It just stays in your hand, and what do grenades do? They blow up. So I blew up twice because one was thrown at me while I had another one in my hand, and it did like a double blow up, and I super exploded, and I lost my stock. But now that I'm back, I get to play the game again, and you can see that I'm lateral to Snake. I am across the stage from Snake, which is I said it's nice to be above it, but sometimes I want to use my projectiles too, right? So here's blue projectile, orange projectile, right? Like, they can be powerful, especially combined with the fact that these grenades are on a timer. So if I were to say, postpone Snake from tossing his grenade at me, then the grenade will just stay in his hand, right? And eventually it'll blow up. And the more that happens, the better it is for me, because it's him blowing up, not me, right? It's like the game swings so much in one's favor, depending on who blows up. Because you could think of it as like a point in tennis. If I get a point, then that's 1 point for me, but 0 points for you. And if you get a point, that's 1 point for you, but 0 points for me. Actually, I take it back. It's worse than tennis. It's like you get a point. Whenever you get a point, it's me losing a point too, right? So it's a swing of not 1 point, but 2 points happening at the same time. I might have more clearly spoke about what I'm talking about, but basically, whoever blows up, it's like double bad. Super double bad. So if he blows up, it's super double bad for him. So I want to make sure that happens. And as you can see, every time he's being postponed, that means he's stuck for a moment, which means I get to play the game. That's how it's double bad. Whoever's blowing up, not only are they getting hit by a grenade, but the other guy can play the game, and then they can just follow up off of that explosion. So yeah.
So this match seems a little bit more back and forth, where you're getting him and then he's getting you. How did you keep your head on your shoulders, your mental, and not get tilted or start to I guess like panic a little bit? Like, how do you stay calm and collected and keep going?
Good question. It's a little tough versus Snake, because one way to stay composed is just by knowing everything, right? If you know the entire chorus of a song, you may not you could pull up to karaoke night and you could open the door to the room and you can hear what they're singing, and at any point of the song you could then chime in because you know the lyrics from that point, right? No matter what point they were at, whether it be the beginning, middle, end of the song, you'll know how to pick it up, right? But Snake is a complicated song. He's really, really hard to like make heads or tails of like, where am I in the song right now? Because like, so grenades are kind of, how do I put it? They're chaotic. I mentioned he could throw them in different ways, right? Like a kind of a lob that goes in an arc. He could go straight across. He could toss it a little bit up. But then there's also the idea that he can cook a grenade before he throws it. So if he just tosses it straight at me, like as soon as he spawns it and just tosses it, well, now the grenade, if I catch it, now it's in my hands, and there's still like another second before it blows up. So I can do something with that grenade in that time. But if we add a dimension to this song, right, a different tempo, let's say he holds this beat, holds this grenade, and just doesn't throw it. It's like a rest, right? And then he throws it. That's called cooking. He basically cooked the grenade in his hand, and then he throws it, and by the time it reaches me, now it'll explode. And that's a totally different scenario. I can't play with the grenade anymore. I can't catch it and throw it back at him like hot potato. Now it's blowing up on me. So that's just one example of how there are like different dimensions that you need to keep track of with Snake. And all these different dimensions, when you combine them all, it just makes it a really, really complex song. Makes it really hard to always know what's going to happen. And if and like I said, one way that I stay composed is by knowing everything. That is a tall task when you're up against Snake, but it's still possible. It's still doable if you put in the time. You can learn this very complex song. It's ridiculous. Did you guys play Guitar Hero growing up?
Yeah.
Perchance? Do you know Through the Fire and Flames? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like iconic for how like fast and ridiculous it is, right? You can compare that to Snake. It's a lot of stuff is going on at all times, like explosion. Like, do you see the screen right now? Yeah. And you're supposed to deal with that at the same time. I'm holding a controller and I'm supposed to deal with all of that. Like how, right? Well, even though it's all complicated, if you just understand, oh, he pulled the grenade 1 second ago. That means there's this amount of time on it. Or, okay, this grenade was tossed like this, which means it's going in this arc, which means I can catch it at this point, right? Then everything becomes clear. People have perfected through the fire and flames, right? People have gotten, like, there's like world records. There's like leaderboards for how many points you can get in a song. And people have done perfect runs of that crazy song, and people have through the ages created their own songs to be even crazier than Through the Fire and Flames, right? Like there's a market for this, like who can make the craziest song and then who can complete that song perfectly, right? Snake is just one big crazy song, and I put in the work to learn it.
All right, Christian, what is your favorite rhythm game? You clearly play rhythm games. What is your favorite one?
I haven't. So in my heart, I should be a rhythm gamer, but I really haven't played many. But I have played one, and I loved it. Rhythm Heaven on the DS. I don't go to like GameStops or anything often, but yeah, you know how it is. Another day, another dollar.
That was the blue projectile downward.
Yeah, yes, that was the third blue projectile that I thought of. I'm like, wait, oh, my hand is blue. That's right. Yeah. So, anyways, where am I? Okay. So, yeah, one day I went to a game store with my friends because it was next to the tourney that we were playing at. And I saw, oh my God, they're selling Rhythm Heaven. I heard like many good things about this game. I'm going to play it. And I picked it up for like a few dollars, and it was awesome. So yeah, Rhythm Heaven is my favorite rhythm game, and I think my only rhythm game, but I love it so much. So fun. So yeah, good question. Thank you.
It's a great game. Do you have a music background? Because you're saying a lot about the composition of Snake. So I'm wondering like where you came up with this allegory.
I do not have a music background. I can just, but other people do, right? Mm-hmm. Do either of you have a music background?
Mildly.
Well, I catered to you. I compared Snake to music because I thought, hey, maybe this will make sense to some people, right? To music majors, yeah, it makes hella sense, right? So there you go.
Boom.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It did make sense.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make sense of kind of what's
Watch
going
this.
on.
Okay, never mind. I thought that was the wait. Okay, here. Toss. Hot potato. So yeah, I understood Snake well enough to just be like, yeah, you're not tricking me. I know your rhythm. I know everything about you. So yeah.
Wow. So whenever you're practicing, do you play? I know you talked about you play the same character with your friends, I believe, to kind of learn. Do you often try and play like other characters to learn like their movesets and stuff? But do you often play like other characters to kind of learn them as well?
Rarely, yes. I did it pretty recently.
Oh. Crazy.
And that's the set. I did it pretty recently with a character named Palutena. I was like, man, this character is just giving me so much trouble. I think it'll help me if I actually look at it from her perspective, to see like how to play or like what she likes and what she doesn't like, and it helped. It's probably something that I'm going to do more often in the future. It's just nice to get another perspective, see the world from other people's shoes.
Very cool.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it.
Yeah. I've got one more question. So this was just a glimpse of the entire tournament at large, but you did end up getting top 8. Did you have any like specific goals going into this event, like going against specific people? Because this seems like a pretty stacked event. I mean, if the top 4 guy is there and you beat him, like that's a really big deal, I think. So what were your goals like going in, and do you feel like you've achieved them?
So goal was to beat the people I was supposed to beat. I looked at my bracket and I'm like, okay, if I just beat this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy, oh, I win the tourney. So I try to simplify things in that way. It's nice to have goals. They can help align your efforts, right? If I have the goal of being an astronaut, It'll probably make me want to look up astronaut books or like space books, whatever. But I do have long-term goals. I didn't have a specific goal for the tourney. I did not. I was like, who's in front of me? Okay, how do I beat them? That's it.
That makes sense to me. Last question I have. If you were to write the book on Mega Man Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, what would it be called?
My first thought was a cringe headline that I made for Mega Man in like almost a decade ago.
Oh, let's hear it.
It was like a thread that I posted on a message board, just trying to tell people how to use his down air. And it was like the down air being the my fist, my rocket fist. It was titled like "The Way of 1,000 Fists" or something. It was so bad. It was so bad. But now that we're grown up, what would I title it? How to win as Mega Man.
All right, straight to the point. I will say, The Way of 1,000 Fists, I think I would probably guess about 30 characters that would be about before Mega Man.
Yeah.
That's like his only, well, and up tilt. Yeah. You know what? Maybe it does work. He kind of just has two of them, though.
Mm-hmm. But they're two big ones.
Yeah, that's true.
They do work.
I think you got like 3 or 4 stocks with just those two alone.
Yep.
So,
yeah,
pretty nice. Well played on the event. Thank you for hopping in with us. And yeah, Phoenix, give us your last thoughts.
That was really cool. I definitely could not do that, but that was really cool. And thank you for coming and sharing your knowledge.
Happy to. Thank you, Phoenix.
Yay!
And thank you to everyone in chat for coming.
Hooray.